Hey guys, Ward Kruse and Gregg Kramer here from Sniper Dynamics, creators of StalkLand camouflage. We're out here with Kershaw today and lucky enough to get our pattern on some of their knives. So we're going to tell you a little bit about our pattern, but before we get started, I'm a former Marine Scout sniper, contractor. That's how Gregg and I met, and currently I'm law enforcement. Gregg?
Yeah, I used to be a U.S. Army school-trained sniper, and then I did a little bit of contract work over in Iraq and Afghanistan, and me and Ward both worked together, and that's where we met, and we decided to start making a camouflage pattern.
So as snipers, me being Marines, Gregg being Army, it's all similar. We modified our gear. We really learned what concealment was, how to hide ourselves, how to become our surroundings. Up through contracting, same thing. We constantly modifying our gear and making it better. So that's basically what happened. Was we were out one day painting stuff, hanging out, and I said, Gregg, we're modifying our gear. We see all this camouflage coming through, and I think it might be worthwhile to start our own deal and see if we can give people the advantage, whether it's hunting or being in combat or whatnot. And so that's how StalkLand was born. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Gregg and let him kind of talk about what makes our pattern unique, why it's different, and a little bit of the tradition behind it. Our logo comes into play. The hog skull that you see on our hats and our shirts. That's we're keeping in tradition of what brought us up into this community. And being a Marine sniper, before you become an actual school-trained sniper, before you graduate, you are considered a pig or a professionally instructed gunman. And once you graduate and they crest in you a sniper, you're now a hog, a hunter of gunmen. So that's where the hog skull comes into to our logo there. And then Gregg, I'll let you talk about the S.
Yeah, so in the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army sniper employment symbol is a snake with an arrow through it, and so we went ahead and hid that in our logo for Sniper Dynamics. And so we actually have the lineages and heritage of the Marine Corps and the Army sniping community being represented within our company branding. Yeah, so as a sniper, in order to increase your combat survivability, they train you to hide within what's called the negative space. And this is how we set our ghillie suits up, and how you can actually go in the brush and have people walk 10 feet from you while you're laying down, and they don't even notice you're there because you don't look like a person, you look just like a bunch of brush. Now, the human eye is actually drawn towards prominent terrain features, which is the positive space. So when you look for somebody, or you look for an animal, you're looking for a tree, a rock, you track the hard lines, so the hard straight lines in your terrain and the prominent features. So you don't want to look like hard lines, you don't want to have straight lines on there, and you don't want to look like a tree or a large rock. You want to look like the micro terrain, which is hidden within that negative space, and that's where your eye doesn't naturally observe. Negative space terrain for vegetation could be described as small grass, twigs, leaves, and you want to have a blotchy, kind of a rounded outline. And so what we did with StalkLand is that some people will look at this, they've been in the military, and it immediately pops in their mind, it looks just like how they used to spray paint their weapons, which is because that's how we would replicate this until we were able to make something like this. And so what it is we've got rounded edges, there's no hard lines, and their terrain looks kind of like a leaf, but it doesn't look like a specific type of leaf. It could be 5 different species of leaves. So even some of these other kind of twiggy looking things, it could look like any other twig. So it's not you're not relying on being directly in front of that exact same type of species or terrain. You can actually kind of blend through. And what we found is with this, the way the coloration is, if you throw this down in a green environment, it'll actually look pretty green. Then we'll take this exact same unit and we'll throw it down to some kind of tan, dry grass, and it'll start looking pretty tan. And why that happens is your mind is kind of picks up on whatever the surrounding terrain is doing. So it almost kind of works as a multi-environment ready concealment, the way that it blends in with different types of terrains. And right now, this is our 600 denier poly, kind of a test fabric. But what we have right now as a marketable product is our hydro film. And this is our full-scale hydro. And so we're able to take the design, digitally render it, turn it into a film that you can put on phone cases, weapon systems, and a variety of other items. Like we've got it on this Team Wendy night vision helmet. Now, what we decided to do is for use on smaller items, such as your Kershaw knives or anything that's smaller, we went ahead and we subscaled it down. So we made a reduced pattern specifically for use with Kershaw knives. And the reduced pattern is 60% scaled down from the original, and then we also added more netting effects. So when you have a small item, you'll get more different details within it. And we've been pretty happy with the way that this has turned out. I think it's going to look great on your knives. Just don't drop it in the brush because you'll probably lose your knife.